Hello, good morning, everybody. I am Psychic Liz Cross from psychiclizcross.com. I have with me here this morning or afternoon, your time, Mr. Shakespeare. And we thought we would look at the Burnham, Nashville. Somebody sent this to me and asked me to look into it to see if it would be profitable for them. Now, as far as I understand, and Mr. Shakespeare probably knows a lot more than I do, the developer has created this building that is like a building full of flats, right? Apartments, condos, whatever you want to call them. And you lease the flat from the developer or the company, but everybody knows that you are going to sublet to Airbnb, these short-term vacation rentals. And they're saying create passive income by partnering with us as a super host, and you would then put the flat on Airbnb. But the leases are not cheap, right? So we were looking at it, and the leases are actually like almost $3,000 just for a one bedroom. So I was trying to understand this concept and how somebody may profit from it. And even though they don't own the property. I mean, Mr. Shakespeare, what do you think?
Okay, yeah, so there is some things like this in England as well. You're paying you're leasing an apartment, condo or studio, one bedroom or two bedroom, whatever, for X amount of dollars per month. That's probably on the high side, the rent, because they know that you're going to do a sublease. Normally, when you rent apartments and condos and single family homes and things, you're not allowed to sublet. You're not supposed to, and you're not allowed to. These would come with the built-in, you are allowed to. But of course, the developer knows that, so it's basically charging you. So what's fixed is the debt, $3,000 a month. What's not fixed is how much you've got to go and earn, what you're going to get in. So you would have to then find tenants, find people on Airbnb and fill it and make more than 3,000 to make it worth your while. Okay.
Wow. Okay. So it looks like a great deal at first. When somebody sent it to me, I was like, what is this? And it's sold in such a way, and look at it. I mean, it obviously is very nice on the inside, but it's almost like, I guess, more of a hotel than a long-term letting, because you couldn't put regular tenants in that property. First of all, you would be at a deficit because regular tenants are not going to pay $3,000 a month to live in something really, really small. But also, you wouldn't want to be around loads of people that are in and out, traveling back and forth, partying. Nashville, from what I believe, is a bit of a party town. So, you wouldn't want to live in that sort of environment. So let me probe the Burnham, the company, and see how much, because obviously I bet you have to pay management fees as well. So let's ask some questions here. I'm going to probe the Burnham in Nashville. Now, do you cover, say, $3,000 for your smallest rental unit? Does that cover the property management fees? So I got to know on that one. No, it does not cover the property management fees. The property management fees are roughly $400 to $500 a month. So that's another payment that you would have to make, that you would be responsible for. If you don't make that payment, then they enforce the lease. Now, what is the maximum amount of money you can earn on a property that is going for $3,000 a month? So the very maximum amount of money is probably upper 4,000, 5,000. On what percentage a success rate, what is the success rate by percentage that people actually achieve these numbers? Okay, 60%. So it looks to me like they're just trying to cover their costs and make money. And they do that by you signing a lease. You are responsible for this lease. They're getting paid regardless, and it's up to you to generate the income. And from what it said for 60%, it doesn't sound like that's good. So this sounds a bit like a scam to me. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's a scam as such, but it's just not a good investment, really. It's good for the company because they get to overcharge for their apartments and they don't have to worry about any of the hassle of Airbnb. You do, okay? Because you're signing a lease, you're going to pay them $3,000 a month plus maintenance at 500, and I bet the maintenance only ever goes up. That's what tends to happen, and they will earn more money out of you on the maintenance over time. If you default in any way, shape, or form, you lose your lease straight away. You know, if you have a problem with Airbnb or guests or whatever trashing the apartment, it's down to you. I It's not something I would touch with a 10-foot barge pole personally.
Right. And what just came through as well, I'm like, if this is being run sort of like a hotel, do you provide the cleaning services for the guests that stay? That's also a no. So there
Oh
you
no,
go.
yeah, no, it's not a hotel. It's literally an Airbnb. You are responsible for everything. Show the guests in, show them out. If there's any problems, you deal with it. You're just basically leasing the unit with the ability to sublease. Okay.
So if Airbnb was very profitable, then why wouldn't they just do it themselves?
Well, Airbnb are agents. I know they do now own some of their own properties, but they started off and still earn their money out of being an agent. And so they have none of the upkeep, none of the problems with the property. They just put buyers in touch with sellers and charge you a fee. You know, that's how they
Okay.
work.
And speaking of Airbnb, the Motley Fool keeps touting Airbnb as a very profitable stock to invest in. Let me move Motley Fool out 5 years because their rule is generally 5 years. They expect you on any recommendation that they put out that you're in there for a minimum of 5 years. So let me move Airbnb out 5 years. So we're going to go August 18th, 2027, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, let's look at the price of Airbnb, which is currently, if you bought it at today's price on the stock market, it is $121.34. Is Airbnb still $121.34? No, it's actually shown up 5 years from now. Has it reached $200? No. Is it stable around 130? So I show that this stock in over 5 years is stable around $130 a share. You do the math, your investments are up to you, but it doesn't look like it continues to be, grow and be overly profitable for everybody. Have Americans or the world in general started going back to hotels? And according to Airbnb, they say, no, I'm going to pull Airbnb down and I'm just going to put the globe up as an entity, vacation, travelers. Are you using more hotels or are you using more Airbnb sort of situations? So again, that confers with what Airbnb as an entity just told me, which is people have really moved away from the concept of hotels and they're really doing their own thing, self-catering, renting apartments, renting houses. It doesn't look like we change that concept in the next 5 years. And that's a good tip for anybody who is, thinking of investing in a hotel or owns hotels or, you know what I mean? So it looks like people are really going forward in 5 years' time, still continuing with this concept of, renting a self-contained flat or house.
Yeah, I mean, I think vacations are not. I think, yeah, the concept of paying extra money to Airbnb probably it was very good when it started, and if you invested in Airbnb when it started, that probably was a buy. Would I invest in it today? No, don't see it. Hotels probably the same. No. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to stay in a hotel, or or you want to stay in somebody's apartment or a house or something, there'll be lots of smaller private ways of doing this. I don't think these mega portals, they were good and they started everything, but there's only one way for them, and that's down, I think, over the next few years.
Yeah, I agree. It's not going to be, it certainly, as we move it out into the future, it's not as profitable as it once was. I think when it first started out, it became very profitable. And now sort of there's so much competition out there that it's not as profitable. What would be more profitable in the future? A rental, a vacation rental, or a property with tenants? And it looks like the vacation rental is still more profitable than the property with tenants. So that's just another investment pro.
Well, one of the reasons why that will be as well is that the big mega corporations are getting more into the tenancy rentals, the long-term rentals. They're buying up properties, paying over the market odds, BlackRock and places like that. And they are, the regulations, there's more regulations on tenancy, long-term tenancies, which favor the big corporations. The little guy can't compete. At the moment, the short-term holiday vacation rental market is relatively untouched in most jurisdictions compared to normal. So that at the moment would be the place if you want to put domestic real estate out on the market to rent out. That's the way to go, I would think.
Oh, there you go. All right, friends. Well, again, if you want to have this discussion, you can discuss this on the Discord, which is attached to the Patreon. You can discuss it on Patreon. The Patreon is Remote Viewing and Beyond. My website, psychiclizcross.com. And you can make a email to me there in the contact box if you have any suggestions. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much.